Let's go.
What's going on, people? It's your old boy. It's the one, the only good boy in the entire Imperium. Republic? No, this is... Where am I? What universe is this? What year? 2020? FAF? Jesus, I thought I left this place. But it appears to be that I am here. On Seraphim Glaciers, no less. This will be an interesting one, no doubt. Welcome back, everybody. We're getting on with our usual feature-length program, featuring nrook here as UEF. This is like a, 800 pretty much ranking standing. Eventually got that out. Then we have T, playing as Aeon at the very bottom here. And he, nrook I recognize from our Discord chattings and whatnot. But T is another party member that I seem to recognize just because he's so not well known, I'd say, but he's been around the block for quite a long time. I mean, he's 800, unfortunately, less so. But unfortunately, the guy has not really been too hot on his progression in general. What else can you say? Some people are perpetually stuck in this endless cycle of torment, living out their lives just playing at one skill level and never being able to escape. Now, when you see build orders like this, you kind of expect that sort of thing to happen. nrook is doing a fairly decent job of expanding here. He's got one engineer rushing out, building his air factory with only 6 P-gens. See, doesn't seem too, doesn't seem very efficient. All that mass he could have added for a little bit more P-gens to get that thing going. And... well, T is going for a couple inties. He's got a lot more pigeons at least to help get the transport going. Sending first actually just one scout and then the inti in order to perhaps help defend his own transport. nrook, though, despite that, he's got his transport out and rolling on. Rolling on and kicking. That's the saying. Whatever saying I just made up. He's going for basically the full deal. I'm gonna pack that up with 6 engineers, head straight for the island, or going straight for his island. A very interesting choice of attack. And he's trying to head up there just as he's flying right by. But the Inti, however, has unfortunately caught sight of him, and he is not about that shit. Oh my lord, and how is this going to pan out? This looks like a dead transport. Oh, but that bad turn allowed just enough time for those engineers to drop while he finishes the job, and those defending inties cut him off from doing any more damage. Nobody else is going to go through that same trauma. Well, they don't want to move up, or at least one of them could have sent an engineer already to get that built, but I guess that's not his plan. There's an engineer already here, likely dropped there from this transport that went up here. Engineers going down there. Very good. This is the sort of expanding that you need to get your shit rolling. Could have probably dropped one extra one just to get that going faster. Usually it's contested though at the start there. So, what else can you do? nrook's pretty much, I wouldn't say he's twice the mass income at the current moment. Right now it's getting to 7 and 30 seconds into the match. There we go. But it's a very rough start on Seraphim Glaciers. You don't get a whole ton of action going. Although nrook certainly has got a strong footing as this transport continues to try and perform this maneuver. He wants to drop the main island. Kudos to him. I believe this is a common strategy by T. I've seen this done on Theta Passage of all fucking maps. I know. Theta Passage. Engineer drop? You would be surprised. I've seen it. But he's successfully landed, but nrook has caught sight of at least the inties. Whether or not he's been able to catch the engineers that were dropped there, we're about to find out. However, I think no doubt by now he knows about it. Does he? We can see down here that he's got his first couple factories up and the tanks. No engineers dropped here, and he's got this island already under control. But there's the ACU now moving out to intercept that little group. We'll see how quickly he can handle this. He's got T2 air now, trying to build some gunships, which will certainly help. If he's mindful, he can actually just get in there, kill the engineers, and there shouldn't be too much going on. Well, he's going straight for it. You'll be able to kill the engineers, no doubt. He's going after the anti-air. That's not a bad idea, but those engineers, you want to make sure that they don't at least get any PD up, so that stops your ACU. Alright, engineers are dead. Good work. And this is basically going to be it for the group. Should probably send those gunships to kill off the roars that are running off, which is what he's not doing. His ACU is moving back for some reason. Huh. Alright, well, this is turning out to be a bit of a handful. Was that Janus I saw? That's Janus. What more could you ask for out of the UEF T2 air arsenal? Really is a perfect unit. I was just seeing one gunship go down. This one has been able to not really take out anything except this radar and mechs. This one up here just took out another radar, I think, that he's going to run before he gets, plopped out of the air. What is he going to do about this? Is he... Okay, there's some factories finally. He could have already finished this off, but apparently he's a little hesitant about making quick work of this little spot. No doubt the Janus would have already cleaned this up a little bit with enough emphasis on destroying the units and the factories. There the ACU goes, and the tanks. That's going to be a very poorly situated drop there, I'd say. He does have T2 PGen, T that is, and T2 air. Fascinating choice of T2 land on what is basically... He has not even dropped his little side bits. Whereas he's so far behind in eco, doesn't have any of the islands. He's got subs coming out, spamming even more T1 factories. I mean, he's certainly not spending the mass either, so I guess that really doesn't put him... It doesn't put him ahead, but it certainly doesn't make him any further behind. He's not stalling anyway. And, well, this is what you would expect out of this sort of situation. That's finally been cleaned up there. And these naval factories need to be producing units. Probably will notice little T1 sub acting up there. Would be an ideal strategy, to get that going. His opponent is getting a lot more factories pulled up, and at least they're building units. One of them's even a T2 factory. And I did see here that there is going to be a drop. Incredible. And Obsidians, no less. Wow. He truly does intend to make mockery out of such a unaware opponent. These Obsidians will no doubt do so much damage against all these T1 units. And like that, pop like balloons. They did pop that T2 PGen though, so he's going to be falling behind without that power. And all that napalm now wreaking havoc on his own base, I'd say. Yikes. Well, it was stopped, but at what cost, really? Jeez Louise. There's the sub still going, and no unit is still being produced. He's decided to build a torpedo launcher, but no subs or anything. Best if you build some torp bombers here or some subs. You need to counter these little bastards. Nope, there's the T2 naval HQ. As these whittled down, already taken 2 with them. Those naval factories. Another drop over here with Obsidians. Wow. Certainly has a fascination for these heavily, would you say armored? Heavily shielded, no doubt, and good HP, but not very good against low HP units. Oh, they'll kill them quickly, but they don't do very well in, how would you say, handling T1 spam. They're more for high HP units for the most part. He is going to be able to take out, 2 T1 mexes, but for Obsidians, was that really worthwhile? Can't really say that was the case. He's finally taken this little spot. There's a T1 engineer with a PD factory. Too bad that they're not going to respond to that. But more interestingly enough, we've got some T2 Navy arriving now to really harass the shit out of this little island. Having no Navy really of his own yet. Well, he's got some engineers trying to pile up some factories. And he's got torp defense here with torpedo boats. That is a lot of... Holy fuck, that's a lot of subs. He's got a couple destros, I believe. No, a couple cruisers and 1 destro. Which is a pretty formidable fleet if you basically lack any substantial destroyer presence, but I guess when you're in T's position, your opponent decides not to build anything. And he's single-handedly wiped out that entire island. Should make sure to clean up the mexes and the engineers, though, if he wants to make use of it. That is another Obsidian drop. Holy shit. What was that? Gunships? I am so not ready for doing the shitcasting now. It's been so long. He's just mass dropping Obsidians everywhere. I'm going to see that the Swiftwinds now are doing some work and trying to stop this. Oh, these were all engineers. Well, what a massacre this is panned out to be. My goodness. And like I said, these Obsidians will not really do much with these T1 tanks. Maybe against some Ilshavas in few numbers, sure. But unfortunately, that's not going to be enough to wipe all that out. He does need to actually use these tanks, though, and actually stop this from becoming a problem. Being proactive about making sure you can stop your opponent from expanding and making moves is part of what makes you an effective, strategist, I'd say. We've got T3 Air now up here as the T2 PGens kick back online. He's building what I think I saw was, that's right. He's building broadswords. Interesting choice. Why he's building broadswords, not focusing all his build power on making sure he's got T3 power, is a fascinating choice. More importantly, though, that Navy is starting to look rather menacing. I see no destros either. Engagement about to spur on over there. He's got T3 land now with Harbingers. Fascinating. Still on T2 air, though. But he has really concentrated all his Navy into just subs. Fascinating choice. I guess when you've got that much in T1 subs, he's still building frigates for some reason, I guess. And these destroyers are going to prove to be a big deal. Pillars now helping wipe that out, but he needs some artillery to take out the PD. And yeah, that's not going to make any progress. What is the plan here? He's taken out a few T2 mexes there, and even though he's wiped out the effort to expand there, he hasn't really tried to reclaim this. Yeah, go on, keep going. Move on over, make sure nothing survives there. Oh, and there goes 2 broadswords. Well, 1. Basically 2 if you see how much HP was lost there in that engagement. And wow, really not proactive in trying to do anything about the Navy. He still has basically 0 Navy, nothing that can actually fight the bulk of his enemy's entire force. He's got some torp boats for sure, but there's only so much that that'll do, especially when there's destros that will effectively counter them. They kite, they do a lot of damage. He's now attacking the production there on each side of the island, as his opponent basically sits and does nothing. He's watching as all of his navy crumbles any sort of control he has over these islands. Not really done anything to rebuild this. He's not doing anything about that. What really is nrook doing about his situation? He's building Raz. He's got power. He's got strats on the way. Torp bombers, at least, but that's not going to do a whole lot. He's got cruisers. At least 1 or 2 in each pack here. Especially 2 here. That's not going to do anything. And as you can see how effective these frigates are at fighting these submarines. Sure, maybe it'll whittle down the destro if they get into range, but a smart player would actually not throw his destro, or cruiser for that matter, right up against these frigates. Very unfortunate, that is. As you can see, completely stripped of all presence and power here at this top island. And yeah, he's basically lost the bottom as well. Where are those harbs going? No, they're just sitting there. Harbs really haven't done anything. Primarily just Obsidians and whatnot. There's a strat bomber just flying away, looking for better seas to conquer. Maybe looking for prime targets. He's dropped a harb right here. So at least one of them has gone somewhere beyond the main island. However, I heard that strat go off. Where did it go? Is that all it went after? Was that? Here's the engagement we were looking for. Quite a bit of submarines here, and no defense whatsoever. It does have those torp boats are really being absolutely useless sitting there, while there's 4 T2 boats really doing a lot to cheer on their allies getting absolutely massacred in the nearby pond, you would say. This little pool of water on this side of the factories. But now they decide to help. Good job. Maybe I'll actually be able to do something about this threat, as the other one from down below makes its way forward. We got even more drops coming, but those harbs are stopped. Good God. Broadswords come in to swing in and attack, but they do nothing useful for their navy. All the eco down here has been effectively quenched of any real presence, I'd say. Wow. Really incredible stuff here, guys. Yeah, you can see a cruiser got popped there just from passing on by a T2 torp launcher. And now they're just going around. Already cleaned up this spot, and the harbs actually did drop from down here. And took care of that little T3 mechs. What a brutal set of casualties that they've got going here. But one Ravager was able to effectively make short work of that. Incredible use of the Navy. Rather rely on T1 tanks to deal with this problem. T3 air between the two of them, though, has been rather even, though T has been doing a poor job of handling it. Drops just getting popped off. Very interesting stuff. Why are there so many torp boats and shield boats, but no destroyers? I get it. UEF destros do kind of suck, but, you know, would be nice to have some direct fire units. That's all I'm saying. These T1 subs, though, proving to be absolutely useless when there's actual counters being applied against them. Fortunately, T1 subs just get creamed on. Wow. 6 harbs being dropped there, but it looks like none of them are going to make it to that island and never be able to head home to say anything to their newborn children. It's kind of a depressing thing to think about, but unfortunately harbs just live that kind of lifestyle. Engineers once again being dropped, and still haven't quite figured out how do I deal with these T1 tanks that are just sitting in one spot? Why do I keep dropping right on top of them? How do they just keep killing off my expansions? Yikes. Those broadswords really being useful. At least they keep flying out and then baiting a small squad of ASFs just to get be murdered off. Gee. Right now we're looking at a very interesting situation as what appears to be a nuke launcher. Oh, goodness me. Well, this has certainly panned out into something, alright. He's got no power right now. He should be focusing on more T3 P-gens if he wants to support that. He is trying to get RAS SACUs up. Really interesting that we've gotten to this point in the game, though. Scouts flying overhead, and he's got plenty of AA to deal with that problem. But my goodness. He's got 2 of these at T2, but 2 extra support factories on T3. Right now, little thing here was taken care of, although it wasn't really much there to begin with. Swift winds are still being utilized at this point. Those ASFs are getting really cocky and trying to chase down those broadswords, but then they just get pecked off. Wow. Well, at least the Navy has actually moved forward from his original position. After what a tremendous mess this has been. Lost so much unnecessary eco. Especially now that he's effectively lost all his expansion. He more like gave up his expansion because, you know, at this rate, how can you really say he lost anything? T just made moves and he did nothing about it. Collection of strats moving up there. Do we have anything else going on in the base? It does have staging facilities, which is kind of handy. Nice to see those being used every once in a while. He's just trying to rebuild, honestly. Get all his eco back up after losing it unnecessarily. Those strats moving out and just suicidal, as you can sort of expect at this point. Stupid plame wayfinding. Is that what he said? Plame? Plame. Plame wayfinding. That's somewhat new to me. I've definitely heard plame before. In fact, that might have been something I'd write if I was drunk or inebriated.
Boy!
Fuck. Might still have that residual alcohol still in me from the last time I tried to shitcast. I was drunk. That did not work out. I tell you what. There's a lot of, which isn't remarkably new for my shitcasting, but hey, I try to be a little bit more aware and conscious of that. Some fascinating engagements here for sure. Broadswords yet again trying to harass and just end up being left on their own accord as ASFs. What? Good grief. You could do so much to protect your broadswords here, and he chooses to let them all get eviscerated out of the sky. It's like he's trying to tell them to move up and kill his gunships. He doesn't have any need for them. Good grief. A little drop here, though, being made. Lobos, half of the Lobos make it at least, but what are they really destroying? A couple T2 mexes, but 2 of them are still T1. I mean, much of his eco remains at T2 anyway. He's got T3 here and there, but, you know, not all eco can be perfect. That's still T1. That's one of his core mexes, ladies and gentlemen. Man, that is a substantial amount of Navy, though, and torp bombers actually being used to some effect. He could have, you know, go after the cruisers, my friend. He could have shift, is it alt control shift G? I fucking forget, but he could split those groups and destroy those cruisers much faster. Unfortunately, however, he's done very little to protect his air, and he's lost all his torp bombers for no reason. Even a couple of his torpedo boats now just trying to tickle down that little destroyer. Yet again, I've seen no destroyers of his own. Oh, no, that's a frigate. Never mind. But at least he's got 7 fucking shield boats to support that. Strat bomber up here. Some torp bombers hanging around. T obviously having his own torp bombers with T3 air. That's the Aeon way to do things. Still a lot of strat bombers just accumulating over there. Took down 1 T2 mech, I'd say. A couple, actually. Is that really worth it, though? Not really. Is there anything else going on? He's got that nuke on the way. And it was taking damage. I think that was the strat bombers. Did I completely miss that? I probably did. Yeah, looks like it. Not surprising. At this point, I've become Guile retroed into a fucking, you know, a ghetto-ass format. Strat bombers, though, trying to take out, no, the T3 torps, rather, trying to take out that T2 naval factory, trying to become a T3, but a nuke is being launched, and we're gonna have that blocked here with the little nuclear defense there. He's already got an SMD, probably scouted that as he should. Otherwise, I think this would be game over already. He lost all that shit to that. Goodness be. He's still building RAS SACUs, so that should be supporting his eco quite a bit. He's still behind somehow. 244 mass per tick. And 20k or so power. Kind of alternating there. However, why would you use strats like that? Oh, jeez. Well, this has been a very interesting game so far. He's built his own quantum gateway, at least. Now he'll be able to build RAS SACUs of his own as he tries to construct his very first battleship to compete with his opponent's navy. Well, at least he'll finally have a direct fire unit rather than all these shield boats and torp boats. Look at how many destros there are. Well, actually not a lot, considering how many more subs there are actual direct fire units, but my point still stands. There are 5 destros. How many destros does nrook have? I don't have to show you because there are none. 1 battleship, that's it. Incredible. There's been no direct fire units except for frigates. Which has been a complete waste of resources if you ask me. And again, most of these things that have been built have been a waste of resources, I gotta say. lot of Navy building up here. So many shield boats. How many fucking shield boats does he have? He's got 17, and he's power stalling. I wonder what's going on with my power. Where's all my fucking power going to? Is it the RAS SACUs? Gee, I have to wonder. Harb's being dropped here. Actually, I'm going to do some work instead of just loitering on the island, as another batch are flying out to clean up the shop here. Should have already had that, but you know, those damn T1 tanks right over here, you know what I'm saying? Scouting his opponent's base. And he's sending... he's thought twice about using his strat bombers there. That's a Neptune. Not a bad counter versus destroyers at the very least. But look at all these Harbs. A couple of T3 mobile anti-air though. That's not a bad use of composition. Nice to have those. There are those strat bombers going. Likely wants to take out the the strategic nuke. Does he already have one? No, it's not quite there yet. He hasn't bothered preparing it though, since whatever attack seemed to have happened. I'll have likely put in a replay just to showcase that particular point, just so we know what happened. Instant replay of that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a new thing. It's gonna be hot. And well, finally something's done. That entire army got cleaned up, and everything is gonna be done. Well, there goes the second nuke. Realizing now that there is indeed nuke defense, SMD will do anything to prevent that missile from hitting, but not if it's over here. What did you really kill with that? He's killed about 6,300k worth of mass. I don't know about you, Chief, but that seems like an awful waste of mass, if you ask me. It's got a long ways to go before that nuke actually pays itself off. That looks to be an SACU trying to drop that island now, as he's completely mopped it dry. About time. And just an update now, we are at 1 hour and 7 minutes. Lordy Lord. You know, I've been putting this at, where are we at now? I thought I was at 3. Okay, so we're at +4, and well, this is where we are. Incredible stuff, huh? An hour into this game, and you can see that we've made 0 progress. We're finally entering we're hard entering the T3 stage. We're not even in late game, to be honest. Though there is nukes, and though there is T3 Navy, T3 Air, there is still not nearly enough. I mean, look at that. What an awful waste on a T1, T2 Naval HQ, which does nothing, because there are other T2 Naval HQs, mind you, not support factories, and 1 T3 Naval HQ. Amazing. Amazing stuff, I have to say. Look how effective these torp boats have been, though, at taking out all these destros. But Omen battleships have been rolling out. They're starting to make their presence known. At least the battleships are certainly a strength for the UEF. They'll be able to fight very well. Unfortunately, though, they can't do shit about these T2 torps, which there are a lot of. I guess you could say that well, there's another one that went in the exact same spot. There's 43 of these bad bitches. Just slow down here. Which I guess you need a lot more torp bombers and boats. So I guess I can't really bitch much, but I did see, holy shit, that is a Novax, ladies and gentlemen. A Novax on a Seraphim Glaciers map. That other nuke did basically jack shit to kill basically another T2 mechs. Wow. Amazing. The Navy or the air rather, is being lost here. Battleship's getting caught out on its own. Just picking at destros. while the majority of the Navy is comprised of T2 subs. Vespers are they called? Yes, they are Vespers. But there are 3 battleships, Omens. They don't have nearly the same range as UAF battleships, but they do pack a punch if they do get in range. So far, this Novax has done very little. Well, actually, he is taking out T3 mexes, so this is a good use of the Novax, no doubt. But what else has he really destroyed? Not much else. It would be best to take out those shields before you tackle the mechs there. And wow, a power move as T's entire navy just goes around as nrook's T3 navy, mostly destros and boats, shield boats, are getting caught up on this little island here, and they're just moving right towards the production. Amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Another set of drops now are being dropped here, taking out some T2 mexes. That is brutal. And wow, these Vespers should be more than enough for the battlecruiser and these torps if they focus them down, as the rest of the Navy tries to return back to base to try to defend. These Omens, though, aren't quite as fast, neither are the Destros. This is a very interesting engagement. T3 Air was certainly lost already, but now T is trying to get into the fray, and nrook's trying to have his navy come back, trying to check up on whatever else is going on. What a incredible use of these T3 strats. Wow. Way to announce that you've got some of those kicking around. And my lord. Much of the T3 Navy has fallen back, but some have tried to push on through. Look at how many torp or shield boats have been destroyed. Torp boats alike. So many T2 subs, though. However, the battleships, rightly so, have been kept here to try to pick these off. Unfortunately, though, there are still all these Vespers just kind of hanging around, trying to harass them. Omen's trying to stream in. Not a great idea, I would say, but hey, they're doing some work. The air engagements, though, are pretty even spread. You can see the strats are moving down, going somewhere with that. Try to pay attention to that. But the battleships are trying to fight off and survive while the Vespers are tickling them down. They're trying to destroy these Omens. Those Omens, though, are trying to focus down on the T3 missile defense. Good God. But there are Neptunes approaching. They can do a lot of damage to these battleships. My God. This is going to be rough if he loses that. It's not going to take very long. The Vespers return to try to destroy these Neptunes. But God, he's already... Oh my lord. All 4 of them have gone down. The missile defense has gone down to half HP. And assuming that he already destroyed it, T already launched the nukes, hoping, or at least the nuke, hoping to just get the catch on nrook with the SMD down. The Vespers, though, are trying to move back in. If they focus down on these torp defenses, though, they can certainly clean up. But the T3 engineers are trying their best to just spam as many as they can. And as you can see, that nuke ended up being shot down. Strat bombers down here are... Where are they all going? This is a really bad case of poor pathfinding. He tried to get them to go all the way around the edge of the map, but this is why you don't stick too close to the side of the map. They get their orders mixed up. Is that the ACU? I think you should be trying to pull out of the water there, my friend. There is a second Novax, just to mention, but it's still just kind of chilling there. Not really doing much. My God. some of the strats are still stuck down there, and the rest of the strats are doing whatever the fuck else down here. Not very good work in trying to... Well, I guess he took out a couple of these, but that's a very poor use of your strats when you could have used those to take out the nuke, which that other Novax is slowly still trying to pick at. It would appear, in the end, the T3 engineers outbuilt the T2 torpedo launchers versus those subs. And wow, so much of T's Navy is gone because of that. nrook has 4 battleships and, well, does he have any Neptunes? Doesn't seem so. But T doesn't have any of his own T3 yet. He's lost them all. He doesn't have air either. My goodness, while I was saying that, I forgot to mention about this shit going on up here. He's got some TMDs here being built, as he's got TMLs being built as well, trying to hopefully take out this SMD, allow his nukes to get through. Or nuke, rather. Hey, not a bad use of the strats. They do a lot of damage versus the battleships, but he doesn't have navy or air control either. He's got some ASFs at least to defend. Little mating dance there from the broadswords as their copulation is abrupted. The ceremony is going to have to resume another day there, unfortunately. Interesting stuff. Those strat bombers were taken out, though. And what a use for these UEF battleships just being sent along towards the... Don't you love it when people just grab their units? Hey, bud. Here's all your battleships. Or where's your navy? Send all your... Just grab this. Just do this. Yeah, click right here. Right here. Amazing stuff, really. This is why you guys don't make it very far in the ranks. At least, not yet. You have a chance, nrook, but I have a feeling T intends to stick with this this position in the ladder standings till the day he dies. Well, at least there are cruisers around to try to take out those strat bombers that are bullying the shit out of the summit. The rest of the map basically belongs to T, although he has not done much to secure some of the other spots that have probably been killed off by these broadswords and strats. We've seen them doing some work here and there. But really, what else is going on? What else can be done to help? nrook really needs to get something going here. Take some of these islands and fight back. Unfortunately, he's done jack shit to really put himself ahead. The satellites really have been doing most of the work here for these guys. Is he actually going to be able to pull this off? Killing off that little T3 naval factory. My god. I think he's actually going to succeed in that. Yes, indeed. Loses his T3 factory. Well, he's got another one, so it's alright. He doesn't lose any of his battleships, at least. You know, I was kidding about just sending your units to the other side of the map, but that's exactly what he's doing. Yet again, after doing it probably 3 or 4 times already. But at least we can see that the TMLs are being launched. Where are they going after? Seems they all collided with the shield all at once, so unfortunately they were taken out. And there are cruisers and stuff to help stop. Yep, they're going to shoot down some of the TMLs. They took out a few of the T3 mexes. Wow. 4 TMLs for one factory? A T1 factory, really? Amazing stuff, guys. Yet again, the Vespers just being thrown against a brick wall. Though they're going to do quite a bit here, I'd say. It's just, what does this all accomplish? Really? I guess his opponent really has neglected to build any navy. But meanwhile, his own naval production is getting peppered down. to basically rust. There goes much of his T2 Navy, basically all of it, and he's only got this one Neptune that's got what it takes to fight this battleship. Cruiser, at least, is doing its best to, you know, say what's up to this motherfucker. But that Omen battleship is gonna sit there and work harder at trying to kill that shit. Speed it back up here. I know it's been probably sitting at that long duration, but there was a lot of action going on. 3 should be enough. Vespers are gonna harass little by little, trying to do more damage. There goes every little bit of the T2, T3. He does have one T3 naval support factory. What? He actually neglected to build an HQ this time. The fool. But he's got one T2 naval factory, so he could just upgrade directly. Wow. There goes a support ACU there, just gonna get popped off. And look at all these transports that are basically carrying only a few fucking Percivals. Where are they going with that? This is really interesting stuff. Nothing's really being done now about the Omens as they're attacking the main island directly. Dear God. Those ASFs are trying to intercept those transports, but they're going after the empty ones. My God. This is a big brain move right now. However, he's lost one of them. He's lost 2 of them. Only one of them landed successfully. Dear God, that is a tragic thing to behold. Wow. They are able to do some damage, though, as the Novaxes are slowly piercing the shields. And there's been no progress made so far. The Omens are giving up. Look at all those TMLs, though, now being launched. That is not TML, is it? It is TML. What are they going after now? The T3 PGen. Not a bad choice of target. Well, that is so many of them. There are so many. The other nuke, by the way, really just launched over here again, from the looks of it. Or just basically suicided into the SMD again. But now it can launch, I believe. The SMD is indeed gone. Jeez Louise, look at the destruction. I see that those Novaxes are slowly getting through, but so many T3 PGens for nrook are gone. But it's okay, he's got so many RAS SACUs now, wandering the depths of the sea, that doesn't matter. He's still got his Novaxes up, apparently. Wow. That's a lot. 21 TMLs? Is that genuinely enough? Especially for T2 PGens? I suppose. Could be targeting these Novaxes, but no. It's not about that. Let's check up on... Wow. The carnage now as these Novaxes are doing quite a bit to really mop up here. There's going to be a T3 PGen down, doing some damage to the shields and structures around it. 2 of them are down here, though nothing's really done about that. He's paused his T3 naval production. Everything really is just invested in what's going on up here. There's still a bunch of T3 shields, which are just popping off one after the other. Strat bombers trying to go in now to take out the Novaxes too, but it would seem the battleship's not going to be able to do anything either. The Percys are going to be able to take out that RAS SACU, popping those off, and likely going to be able to take care of everything there. That Neptune could have probably done that way sooner. It's a shame that never happened. Omen is down now. Ooh. A bunch of SACUs were killed during that. You know, I probably could do split screen, but that sounds way more tedious than it really sounds like I care to do. I really don't feel like doing that. There goes all the TMLs, though. Oh, fucking hell, dude. What has been going on with this game? T is quintessentially in the lead now. Although, nrook still surviving. His opponent really just has been reduced now to a lethargic mass of meat and metal. He's really focused on trying to get a T3 already up. Indeed, you have played so optimal, nrook. Truly, you have succeeded my expectations of you in every regard. Confiding now in your corner of the map, while T basically turns into jello at the sight of your strategies. What is going on? Just getting harassed now. He even lost one of his SACUs there. But now he's actually deciding, fuck it, I need to build shields. I need to counter this shit. This is getting boring. Vesper's still kicking around, though. They took down that little Neptune that was roaming around. But what else is he really gonna do? He's just building strat bombers and, well, there resumes the mating ritual. As promised, folks, this was what you came here to see, right? Yes. Very interesting mating habits these broadswords have. Look at these Percys now traversing across the entire map just to get to one place. The strats made it down here. Not going to do much, though. Really high tier stuff here, guys. This has been an hour and 36 minutes. What else is there left? Azar. All right. I'm down with that. Really not much else in the base, though, just to help get them along. The broadswords are at least moving out of the base there, so they'll be able to fight. There's no T3 air left. Now, for T, he's stopped building ASFs. Okay, he's built some now, but he's not nearly heavily relying on that. These broadswords could just roll in here, do all the work they want. There's a T3 artery already on the way there for him. But I don't think he's really committed to one thing, as these Percys are now trying to step up on the beach. I can already hear the one-winged angel playing. If y'all ever see the one-winged beach with SpongeBob, you'll get what I mean. Look at all these strat bombers, though, going after the Omen classes. He's lost so many of the strats, though, to sheer ASF numbers, exposing them unnecessarily. But at least he needed this for the Omens, so there's at least a responsible use of that. But not what you would do if you had a navy, is all I'm saying. If he had a navy, he might have been able to stop that. You can see now, though, all those strat bombers took care of those Omens. The Percys are moving up, and they're going to fight to the last man to destroy whatever is left of this base. There are harbs. Such props to T for coming in with the clutch harbs towards the end there. So many Omens, though, getting popped off. Woo! Bless me. Since I'm the only one here, I get to say that. Torp bombers and strats take care of that, though. Percys move up away from the base. They're gonna deal with that Tsar at the very least, though. T3 already's about done here. T3 already's about done here, though. I don't think T is going to be able to clutch with this, though. He's building another Tsar, which is actually further along than I expected. Jesus Christ, he's just gone straight to experimental shit. Novaks is still doing their hardest to try and pierce those shields. The ASF's moved up further ahead. All these strap bombers. I can see where this is going to go, I think. There goes the Perseus, though. Those are nuke subs. How far along are they? Not very far. Not going to be doing nearly enough to clutch the victory. But as I say that, yep, as what I expected to happen, there's the targeting going after the ACU, which was parked up in the middle of all that fucking shit, huh? Really? That's where his ACU was the whole time? I thought I saw him down here. Wow. Really? This game turned out to be one of these, huh? An hour 42 minutes? Absolutely horrendous, but I got my fix out of this, so Jesus Christ, I fucking love this. That was amazing. Basically, just a non-stop, just shitballing of throwing dung at each other until the cows came home. And when the cows came home, they dropped fucking payloads of strap bombs to take care of the ACU. My God, that was beautiful. nrook is the winner for today's Shitcast. Congrats to him. I hope you realize that my scrutiny of you has only increased tenfold. There's your ACU. No amount of water distortion is going to protect you from me, pal. So know that I am going to be keeping an eye on you, and I hope that shit gets better from here. T will never change. He's much like Bisk in that he'll never really progress. In fact, nah, GG LOL, knob. Calling his opponent knob. Alright, well, enough of the foul language there. I think that's good enough to call it. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright, take care, guys.